So we are starting today ETL testing. Okay, called as extract, transform, and load testing. We need to extract the data, transform the data, and load the data, and do the testing. So here there are three things. First is the extraction, then is the transformation, and then it is the loading. So guys, I just wanted to hi Rakesh. So
Hi, sir.
yeah, so I'm just starting ETL testing. So I'm just telling there are three phases: extract, transform, and load. We are extracting the data, transforming the data, and then loading the data, and then doing the testing. So guys, I just wanted to tell you this extract, transform, and load testing, this extraction, transformation, and loading of data, these are done using some ETL tools. So there are some ETL tools, if you would have heard. There is something called as Informatica. There is something called as Altrex. There is something called as SSIS, SQL Server Integration Service. Is called as what? SSIS. Okay, this is again an ETL tool. There is something called as IBM Data Stage. Now this is again a ETL tool. There is something called as Pervasive. This is again an ETL tool. So there are so many ETL tool. And if we go to a cloud-based ETL testing, there's something called as Azure Data Factory. In short form, we call it as ADF. So this is again an ETL tool. And the work of this ETL tools are to extract the data, transform the data, and load the data. And what we do as an ETL tester. So there are two things. First is the ETL test engineer. And there's something called as ETL developers. So both are having separate responsibilities. So let me just save this document. Okay. Today is ETL introduction. Today's date is 6/10/2022. Fine. So the work of ETL developer and ETL test engineer, we have to understand. So ETL test engineer, they will test the loaded data from the source system. So first thing is what? Test the data from the source to the data loaded in the data warehouse. Data warehouse is also some we call it as target. Okay, so data is getting loaded from the source system to the data warehouse, and as an ETL test engineer, we need to test that the data which has been loaded from the source system to the data warehouse called as target is correct or not. Every data from the source should match with every data in the target. Now, ETL test engineer is going to do the validation part. Now, what is BI report test engineer? So this is called as BI reporting test engineer. So there are two kind of test engineers. One is ETL test engineer, one is BI reporting test engineer. So as an ETL tester, if we know both ETL testing and BI report testing, then it is a full-fledged knowledge of this technology. Now, what is this BI reporting test engineer or BI report test engineer? Now, data has been loaded from the source system to the target. That is what? Data warehouse. Now, from the data warehouse, the data is loaded into the BI report, and testing is done what? Testing is done to check the data from the target to what? target to the BI report. So overall, if we will tell what are the roles and responsibilities of ETL test engineer, then what you will do, you will tell what? There are two steps of validation. First, you will tell what? First validation of data from source to the target. That is the data warehouse. Target, that is nothing but your data warehouse. And the second part of the testing you will tell is what? Validation of data from data warehouse to the BI report. Now, BI report, there are a lot of BI report testing tools or BI reporting tools, we will tell directly. BI reporting tools. Anyone knows any BI reporting tool? There is something called as Power BI, MicroStrategy. Then any OBI, then Tableau, then these are what? BI reporting tool, SSRS, SQL Server reporting services. Guys, these are what the BI reporting tool. Now, what is the ETL developer doing? Now he is developing, the developer is developing the transformation logic. Okay. So the transformation logic is developed by the developers. So he is using some a logic by which the data will be loaded. These logics are given clearly in the transformation logic is given in the BRD, that is business requirement document. There is something called as technical specification documents. And above all, the most important document is that, what is that? STM, or also called as STTM. That is source to target mapping document. Okay. So BRD and technical specification document is the requirement document. Generally, they will give either one, either they will give BRD or they will give technical specification document. So they contain the transformation logics and the table level information, that which tables are there and which table is getting loaded to which table. So all these things the developer will develop, and what our job is to check the data which is loaded from the source system to the target system, that is data warehouse, and from data warehouse to the BI report. Now, after this, what we have to learn in this ETL testing is we have to understand the ETL architecture. So as soon as someone asks you about your project, if you give any interview also, or in your day-to-day working as an ETL tester, first thing you have to understand is the ETL architecture. First thing will be asked in your interview is, can you please explain your project? That is nothing but your project architecture. So we have to understand what is a project architecture. Now, I told you sources are what? I told you sources are, what are the sources? It can be an Excel sheet. It can be an
database
XML file. It can be a database, that is nothing but your tables. Okay. It can be a file like TXT file or CSV file, that is text file, or comma separated values files. So these are what? These are nothing but your sources. And from the sources, data is transformed and then loaded into the target. That is called as what? ETL testing. So now, if you know the sources, you know what is the difference between database and data warehouse. Do you know the difference between database and data warehouse? Tell me guys, yes or no? Yes. So what happens in database? It is always collection of data in the form of table. Okay. Database is what, guys? Is collection of data.
Online transactions are collected into database.
Yeah, and so transactional data is database data. And what is data warehouse data?
It's cleaned data, non-volatile data.
Integrated data. First thing you have to understand.
Integrated.
Data warehouse datas are integrated. If you tell this thing, that's over. First thing you have to understand is data warehouse data. Everyone thinks database and data warehouse is same. No, data warehouse data are integrated data. Always tell it is integrated data. So what is a data warehouse? For a database to qualify as data warehouse database, there are 4 criteria. If a database qualifies these 4 criteria, it is called as data warehouse. Which are the 4 criteria? First is what? Subject oriented, time variant, then we'll write integrated. Okay, integrated. Most important is integrated. Then is what? Time variant. Last is what, guys? Non-volatile. Subject oriented means what, guys? It should be related to a particular subject like sales. Sales is a particular subject. Marketing is again a particular subject. Finance is a particular subject. So for a particular subject, if the data are there, most important, integrated data means what? Data is coming from multiple databases. Suppose database 1, 2, 3, 4. In this sense, if a sale is happening in a Bangalore, in Marathalli, in BTM, in Kormangla, in Silk Board, these are transactional data. Day to day, a particular jeans is sold for a particular brand. Lee is a brand. Okay. Now in this brand, so many jeans are sold in Kormangla Lee branch. Now these data are getting stored in what? In the database. Now again, there's a place in Bangalore that is Marathalli. Again, Lee jeans is sold in Marathalli. Again, jeans is sold in BTM. Again, jeans is sold in Silk Board. Now what will happen is that all these data from all these databases will get integrated and stored in a place that is called as data warehouse. So data warehouse data is always integrated. That means from all these databases, the data are stored in a centralized repository that is nothing but your data warehouse database. So are you clear, guys? What is data warehouse? Tell me yes or no?
Yeah.
So now, next is, guys, time variant. Time variant means what? See, this 6 month, this 3 month, your 1 day or 2 day or maximum 1 year data are in the database. But the 100-year data, no, 100-year data will not be in the database. It will be in the data warehouse. 20-year data. So if you have a huge limit, suppose 4-year data. So till 1 year, it will be in transactional databases, but in data warehouse, what will happen? It will be a huge duration of time. That is nothing but your time variant, long duration of time. If you tell to your bank, okay, from suppose you have a account in a bank, any bank, suppose SDFC. Now you tell what in 2012, what was my transactions done on my account? Can you give me the details? Then what they will tell? They will tell what? See, we cannot give in now. We will take some time. Give me just 1 second, 1 second. So I was telling the data are time variant. That means what? It is a huge amount of data, 4-year, 5-year, 10-year, 20-year, 100 years. If you go to a bank and you tell what? In 2012, what is my account details? What are the transactions I have done? Then what they will tell? Give us a time of 3 days, 5 days. Then only we can tell you, right? 10 years before data, they cannot provide you immediately. Why? Because that is not in the database. They have to go to the data warehouse and query the transactions and then send to you. Fine, guys? Yes or no? Yes. Are you there, Annu? Annu, are you there? And what is her name? Annu, are you there? And what is this Oppo? Oppo, I forgot the name.
Yes, I am.
Yes, Rakesh.
Yeah, Rakesh. Yeah. So
Yes.
did you understand this time variant? That is a
Yes,
huge
yes.
amount of data are there. It's not, if you go to a bank detail and ask 10 years of previous data, then they will go to the data warehouse and then they will send to you. So it will take time. It's never a 2 days data, 6 month data will not be in the data warehouse. Always a huge amount of data. Non-volatile means what, guys? We cannot use update, we cannot use delete. These kind of DML activities we cannot do in a data warehouse. It is not that every time we'll do the update and delete is 100 year of data and then there's no proof that what data got mixed up with from which data base, and like that we cannot do the update insert and all. We don't do in the data warehouse because it's a, first of all, there's a integrated data from various databases it is coming, then it is a huge amount of data, 20 years before data, and if we'll do a delete and update and all, entire data will get messed up. So it is non-volatile. That is the database. So data warehouse, database to qualify as a data warehouse database, it should be subject oriented, integrated, time variant, and non-volatile. Am I clear, guys? Tell me yes or no.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Then there is something called as data mart, guys. Now again, this is again people get confused. Data warehouse and versus data mart. People think both are same only. No, both are different, guys. What is the difference now? Data warehouse and data mart is that data mart is a subset of data warehouse. First thing you have to always remember when you tell a data mart, it is a subset of what? Data warehouse. That means what, guys? Subset means what? Part of data warehouse. Okay. Subset means what? A particular part of data warehouse. All the properties of data warehouse will be there in the data mart, but it is a subset. It is a set of that. Okay. Suppose there's a kick. Okay. Let me just open. Okay. Let me take a very simple example. This is a cake. Okay. Or let me take a further simple example. Let me take a pizza. Okay. Suppose this is a pizza, guys. Okay. Now this is a pizza. Okay. Now this pizza is getting divided. We'll eat pizza part by part. So it is getting divided. Suppose we four are eating. First I am eating. Okay. Okay. So let me just write down my name, Vikram. Then Annu is eating. Her name is A. Rakesh is eating. R. Tapashvi is eating. T. Now, guys, what happens? This pizza is divided now into 4 parts. But the taste of pizza, is that Annu will get different taste and I will get different taste? No, we'll get the same taste. Is that Rakesh will get different taste? No, he will also get the same taste. Tapashvi will get different taste? No. We all will get the same taste, same chili, same masala, same spices, everything will be same, but what will happen? This is divided into subsets. Yes or no, guys? This is a particular set which is going to be eaten by Annu. This is a particular set which will be eaten by me. This is a particular set eaten by Rakesh. This is a particular set which will be eaten by Tapashvi. Yes or no, guys? Yes. Are you able to understand, Rakesh?
Yes, yes.
Good. So now, guys, like that, consider this as data warehouse. Now, this is a data warehouse. Now, what happened? There is something called as accounting department. This is what, guys? Accounting department. Now, this is a employee details. Okay. Now, in a company details, company, there are a lot of branches. This is what accounts department is, a particular data mart. Now, data warehouse is having the data of the entire company, but accounting department will have the data of this particular part. Now, there is something called as what, guys? There is something called as sales department. Anyone is pinging me? Okay, we'll talk to him later. There's something called as recovery department. Now, there's in a company, it's a banking domain company and it's a bank and all uh, is giving a recovery department. Then there's we have to recover the amount. Then there's something called as sales department. Okay, so what happened? Data warehouse is having the employee details. Now what will happen, guys? Here there is something called as sales. Now this is what a particular department. Now there is something called as finance. There's a particular department. Okay, there is something called as delivery. There we all come under delivery, developer, test engineers, and all. So these are what, guys, employee is employee. The entire company is having so many employees. We have divided into sub parts. Now this is called as data mart, a particular subject oriented. That is called as data mart. Data mart is a subset of data warehouse and it is related to a particular subject that is called as data mart. Are you able to understand, guys? Tell me yes or no. Tell me yes or no. Guys, please keep responding.
Yes.
So
Yes,
data
sir.
mart is related to a particular department. Particular.
But sir, one question, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, but in data warehouse also it will be some particular subset like sales, marketing, and
Yeah. So, but that
Very-
all the datas are there. Okay, in the data warehouse, which is sales, finance, delivery. Yes or no? Suppose this is a
yes.
data warehouse. Is everything is there in the data warehouse? Now, data mart. What will happen? This is a particular data mart one. Now, what is data mart one? Can you just tell me? Data mart one is sales. Are you able to understand? Data mart two. What is data mart two? Can you just tell me? Finance. What is data mart three? Can you just tell me? What is data mart three? Delivery. Are you able to understand? But all these things are where in the data warehouse. Are you able to understand? So we cannot do the testing entire data warehouse. We'll have to select the data. So we'll do the testing in the data mart. For the sales thing, a particular report is developed. So we'll test the data from the source to this particular data mart, that is sales. From source, a particular data mart, finance. This is given to test engineer one. Test engineer one is testing what? This particular module, sales. Test engineer two is testing this particular module, finance. Test engineer three is testing this particular module, that is nothing but your delivery. Are you able to understand? Yes or no?
Yes.
So this is a subset of data warehouse. It is also having all the properties of data warehouse, subject oriented, integrated, time variant, non-volatile, but it is a subset because everything is in the data warehouse. Data warehouse is huge. So we have divided into subsets and then we are doing our testing and all. Am I clear, guys? Yes or no? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now let me just open our document. So this document will be given to you people so that every time you can always access these documents. And this is a exclusive document. It's prepared by me. So this is very, very important document, which I am going to share to you. Okay, guys, let me just open that. So you see entire content, syllabus, everything is prepared. Okay, so introduction to ETL testing, extract, transform, load testing, extract the data from the source system, transform means change the data as per business requirement, business logic, and load the data into the data warehouse. Source system can be XML file, database, Excel file, file having extension .csv, .psv. .csv means comma separated value. .psv means pipe separated values. Okay, guys? Yes. Fine, guys. Now, next thing is the roles of an ETL test engineer. First, we need to check the data from the source to data warehouse. Next, we need to check the data from the data warehouse to the report. And this is, guys, the second point I will tell you when I'll teach you Informatica, how we run the workflow and how we check the log. Next thing, the main thing today we are going to learn is nothing but your ETL architecture. Please pay your attention, guys. ETL architecture is again a very critical thing. So let us just start your ETL architecture. Fine, guys. So do you know ETL architecture, guys? So to understand, this is the main thing. This is the main project question anywhere, any place you go. Now, guys, ETL architecture, anyone knows, anyone has cooked a food, then they can explain this clearly. So I'll request Anu to tell me because being a female, definitely she would have cooked the food. So Anu, my question to you is, I have to cook today potato curry. So can you just tell me how to cook potato curry? What is the first step? Step by step, you tell me. Step one.
Okay, first washing the potatoes.
Okay, step one.
Peeling.
Okay, washing the potato. Then next.
Peeling.
Okay, peel out the screen. Then
And
next, step two.
then step
Step
2.
three. Step three.
Step 3, I generally again wash because
Okay, wash. Okay,
yeah.
fine. Then
And then cutting.
cutting. Fine. Then step
Then
four.
sorry,
Step four will be what? After cutting, what will
cooking.
you do? Cooking.
After that, cooking. Yeah.
Okay. Fine, guys. So these are the steps to cook a vegetable. First, a vegetable is washed. Okay. Then we peel out the skin of the vegetable. Okay. Then, guys, what happened is that we'll wash and cut, and then finally we'll cook. This is the steps to cook the potato curry. That means, data, guys, understand. First, the source has come, then we do the cooking. This is a very, very basic testing. That is nothing but your landing area. Landing area means what, guys? Very less company uses this, but they ask what is the validation done in your landing area and all. So what you have to done, the very, very basic testing is done in your landing area. Like in a food, we just what we do, we'll just cook, we'll just wash that particular vegetables. That is nothing but your landing area. So that means we'll do the basic data quality check in landing area, like the name of the employee should be in uppercase. This is what a particular basic testing done in the landing area. Next is peel out the screen. So this is what, guys, there's some more testing done in the staging area. There is something called a staging area where we will do the some kind of validations like rounding of the data. Okay. Then there is something called as unwanted or junk data. We can just see in the data there is no hash symbol, there is no underscore, and if it is a number data, this kind of data should not be there. This will be done in the staging area. And actual transformation, actual business logic transformation, actual transformation is done in the data warehouse, where actual cutting and all is happening. That is done wise, guys, where in the data warehouse. And from data warehouse, what will happen, guys? We can just segregate into data marts and we can test it. And then we can test it. So these are the things, guys. To understand the architecture, you have to understand how to cook a vegetable. So what happens if you have understood this much? First is washing. That means basic quality check is done in the landing area. Then staging area. That is the peel out the skin. That is rounding of the data. Unwanted junk data and all are removed. Then actual transformation. That is nothing but your actual transformation is done in the data warehouse. Are you clear with these three steps? Tell me yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let us just see here, guys. This is the architecture. Any project, anywhere, first they will tell us what is the architecture. To explain the architecture, you have to remember 99% of the company uses this particular architecture. You will tell the same. From source, data move to staging. From staging, data move to data warehouse. From data warehouse, data move to data mart. From data mart, data moves to BI report. This is the 99% of the company uses this. 1% uses this one. You will tell the 99% only, but for your knowledge, I'm telling 1% uses this one also. Source to landing area, even less than 90%. So you don't need to tell this thing. Source to landing area to staging area, and then from data warehouse to data mart, and then BI report. Because the landing area testing can be done in staging area only. That is why 99% of the companies do not follow that, and they follow this architecture. You will tell this architecture. From the source, data is going to the staging area, from data warehouse, then to data mart, and then to the BI report. 1% of the company, source to landing area, then staging area, data warehouse, data mart, BI report. See this, this is ETL architecture, guys. This is what you have to keenly observe this. There is something called as data, a source system here. It can be a file system, it can be a database, it can be an XML file, Excel file. Okay, all those things can be a source. I told you the sources. Fine, guys. So from the source, guys, it goes to ODS layer. Okay, operational data source. That is nothing but your landing area. ODS, operational data source. That is nothing but your landing area. Now see here, from ODS, it goes to the staging area. From staging, this is stage one. See, let us just understand stage by stage. This is stage one, guys. Okay. From source to ODS, that is landing area, stage one. Stage two is from what? Landing area to the staging area. Stage 3 is what? From staging to the data warehouse. And stage 4 is what? Data warehouse to data mart, data mart, data mart. And from data mart, it goes to what? BI report. And from BI report, it will be used by whom, guys? Everyone tell me, end users. Okay, the report will be shown by whom? The report can be seen by the end users, like a CEO of the company, MD of the company. They will see the report. Okay, how many people are leaving the organization, what is the attrition rate, how many, which is the particular product which is sold in a particular region in a particular duration, which is having the highest sell. So I am seeing what? The shoes of my company is having the highest sell, and I'm seeing what? The purse what I am developing is not having any sell. So either I need to upgrade the purse design and the material and the quality, or I need to completely stop that particular product. Okay, now this is the decision done by the CEO and the MD. Okay, this product is having high sell. Let me just increase 5 rupee for per product. Let me just see what happens. This kind of decisions will be taken by the higher management, and that is what is the BI report which is developed. The end product of ETL testing is always and always remember, the end product of BI report testing is nothing but a BI report which is developed and which is used by end users. Testing is divided into two parts, from the sources to the data warehouse, that is data mart, but at the time of telling, we'll tell from sources to the data warehouse and from data warehouse to the BI report. Am I clear with ETL architecture, guys? Project descriptions, tell me yes or no.
Yes.
This is a data migration project. Migration means what? Suppose Anu has went to Australia from India. This is a migration, right? That is called as movement. That means in the case of data migration means what? Data is moving. That is nothing but data migration project. First thing you have to tell whenever you explain your project, this is a data migration project. Data is coming from the sources. From source, so it's going to the staging area. From staging, it is going to the data warehouse. From data warehouse, it's going to the data mart. And then finally, it is going to the BI report. Testing is divided into two parts, from source to data warehouse and from data warehouse to the BI report. Yes or no, guys? Yes.
Yes, sir.
This is the project architecture. 15 minutes you have to completely stand and explain your project. They might ask, okay, what is a data warehouse? What is a end product of ETL testing? BI report. What is then why are you using data mart? It is a subset of data because a huge amount of data, so we have divided into data marts. Okay, then what is the testing done in staging area and what is the testing done in data warehouse? Data warehouse, actual transformation logics are written. Staging area, data quality checks are there, like junk data should not be there, and rounding of the data, this kind of validations, which we will study later, one by one. Then they will ask, okay, what is the transformation for that? Which is the document you were referring? You directly tell STM document, source to target mapping document. Based on that, we are checking the transformations, and then we are doing the validation. Okay, so in this project, so what is the testing you have done? Then you will tell all the kinds of testing what I am going to teach you. That is what is the project explanation, guys. 10 to 15 minutes. You have to clearly explain the source system is a table. For you, if you tell it is a table, it is still is a database, and there were tables in this. Target was also table. We are going to do table to table validation. It can be a file to table validation if sources are file. And how we will validate that file to file, table to file, file to file, table to file, table to table, Excel to table, all this kind of validation, and how to test a BI report. That is what is ETL testing. That is what I will teach you in this particular session of ETL testing. This is a data migration project. Always remember this. Am I clear, guys, about this ETL architecture? Any question?
No question.
No question. Fine, guys. So, guys, this is the show system. Fine. This is the staging, this data where now. Now I have written the validations, guys, and I will teach you each and every validation. Okay. And from what are the validations we do. But do you know, guys, data are of three types? Do you know this much? Data are of three types. Do you know this? Structured data. Then unstructured data. Do you know? And then semi-structured data. Yes or no?
Yeah.
What is structured data? Data which are in tabular format. Okay. If it is in the table format, that is called as what, guys? Structured data. Unstructured data, it is not in table format, like your video, music, and all. Semi-structured data. Have you heard about that? What is semi-structured data? Anyone knows?
Maybe some partially structured.
Yeah, it's what? Partially structured data, which can be changed to what? Changed to structured data, which can be changed to structured data after doing some transformations. Okay, fine. Like your XML file. So means it is structured up to an extent. Okay, that is nothing but a semi-structured data. XML is having a particular format. Now I want to convert it into Excel. Now I want to convert into tabular format from Excel to table. We can convert it. So it is an structure is up to an extent, like XML file. Okay, this is what a semi-structured data. Okay, guys, yes or no? JSON file format. This is what structured up to an extent. It's not completely tabular format, but it can be converted into a tabular format. These are kinds of data that is structured, unstructured, and semi-structured data. Fine, guys. Next. Next is, guys, the validations, what we do in the landing area, the quality check. Suppose name of the employee should start with the first letters, capital. Data type check. Data type, I taught you there is something called as what? What are the data type? Number data type, character data type, yes or no? Date data type.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
all those kind of checkings we can do in the landing area. Staging area. Suppose there should not be any underscore, and no unnecessary null values should be there. Rounding of the data, decoding of the data. Decoding I'll teach. I have taught. There's a function called as what, guys? If you remember, for case statement, or I told you something called as decode. Suppose the department number is 10, then represent it with IT. Department number is 20, represent it with the CSE. And for other departments, you can write other. So these kind of validations we do in the staging area. No underscore, no unnecessary null values, rounding of the data, decoding of the data. And landing area, name of the employee should start with the first letters, capital, data type check. Actual testing is done in the data warehouse layer, guys, where what we have to do is, where we have to see the transformation logic. This is the actual testing. This is the most complex part of ETL testing, what we are going to learn. Some of the business logic, suppose salary should get incremented with 10%. So sal equals to sal plus sal into 0.1. This is what increment of 10%. And after that, you will have to verify that is the salary the person is getting 1 lakh rupees monthly salary. He has got a 10% increment. Is he getting 1,10,000 per month or not? So other transformation is there. Suppose out of 4 departments, only 1 department should be loaded. Okay. So this is nothing, guys. This is again a transformation that we are removing the 3 departments and only 1 department we are loading. That these kind of critical complex transformation logic will validate. That is the most complex part of ETL testing. What we will learn, all the transformation, aggregate transformation, filter transformation, sorter transformation, router transformation, joiner transformation, lookup transformation. This is what is the actual ETL testing. ETL testing tools I have written here. Informatica, Amnisho, IBM Data Stage, SSIS, Alteryx. Okay. Then there is something called as what, guys? BI reporting tool, Cognos, SSRS, MicroStrategy, Power BI, OBI, Tableau. All these things are written here. Now, what is a data warehouse, guys? I've already explained. It is a subject-oriented, integrated, time-variant, and non-volatile collection of data in support of the management decision-making. That is nothing but your data warehouse. All these 4 properties I explained you. Subject-oriented should be for a particular subject. Integrated, it's getting integrated from multiple databases. Time-variant, old data are there, more than 1 year at least, 20 year, 100 year. Non-volatile, since it's historic data, we will not do any changes like update, delete and all, we will not use. Data mart, I already explained you. Data mart is again a subset of data warehouse. Okay, so it is a simple data warehouse that focuses on a particular subject. Now, guys, next thing I wanted to tell you is the validation, to understand the validation between source and target. And this thing we will start from tomorrow, how we will actually validate the data from source to target. Now, guys, this class is very important, guys, because I will tell you all the data quality checks and all the transformations which I will start by tomorrow. So all this transformation.
Mondays.
Huh?
Mondays.
Tomorrow is Monday. Tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow is Friday, so we'll have a class. Okay, guys. So not tomorrow. Today is not Friday. Okay, fine. Let me just we'll start in the next class all the transformation. Let me stop the recording.